Everybody, and welcome to our weekly team call. Let me start by apologizing for the mess behind me. I'm moving soon, hopefully. That was a cross finger attempt. I spent the morning on the phone with the loan guy, so hopefully I'm moving. So that's why there's a big mess behind me. But today we have some really important topics to talk about, which is really about building your team, and sort of there's a technical side of that. And we're going to talk about that. And that relates to placement. In other words, where these people go in your organization. And then there's also a tactical side of that about, managing the relationship that you have with this new person on your team, and with how you then train them and teach them how to do this thing. And I'm going to give you some advice on that. I'm also going to tell you that with respect to everything we talk about, situations vary, in particular the relationship part, because every relationship is completely different and you really need to treat it that way. And we'll sort of talk about that when we get there. So here's the framework that I want to give you, though, is where we're starting is a point in time. Some of this stuff you've already hopefully done with respect to setting your preferred place, and we'll talk about that. But what I'm really focusing on is the time when somebody has said yes. So in last week, for example, we talked about how to explain the compensation plan. You've kind of done all that stuff. You've asked that question. Have you ever thought of becoming a team Beachbody coach? They said, I've kind of thought about it. I'm not sure. You've gone back and forth. You've answered whatever questions, and you've explained the cost structure to them. That's usually a part of that discussion, those cost savings that are available to them as a coach, and you're, sort of explaining that to them and educated. And they say, yes, I am ready to go. Okay. And then you're going to send them a share card. That's how I do it. It's not the only way to do it. It's just, in my opinion, the best way to do it. So I want to know, what's your email address? What flavor of Shakeology do you want, if it's Shakeology and not the performance line? And anything else I need to know about that order? Are you adding any of the Nutrition Plus subscriptions, those sorts of things? Putting that all together, sending out my email, right? Now they execute on that. You have a coach on your team. What in the world do you do next? Here's why this is really important, and a topic that I think we probably haven't spent enough time talking about. I remember being a new coach. It was a long time ago, but I remember it. And I remember that I didn't have a high degree of confidence in approaching people, prospecting people, asking people to join the team, because I didn't know what was next. I didn't know how to teach them how to do what I was doing, and I wasn't very good at doing that, to be completely frank with you. I'm trying to help you avoid some of those pitfalls and just gain a little bit of confidence in your ability to welcome people to the team, okay? To take care of the technical side of things, that, they're placed in the right spot, that is going to help everybody build their organization together. Today, I'm going to show you how that works, and that you have built your relationship with them, and, you have an existing relationship, which is probably as a customer on some level. And then you're starting a new relationship, which is now you guys are working together, and things are going to be a little bit different. And we'll talk about that today. And then also where to find the stuff to help them get educated. Okay. If you're not ready, you're not in a position to teach people how to do this thing, which if you're watching this call, you're probably not. That's okay. We've created a lot of resources to take a lot of that heavy lifting off of your shoulders and just allow people to do the work with your involvement. So let's talk about that. I have a little slideshow today, very fancy today. So let me kick that into gear. All right, FCN coach training. So this quote, I use this quote, I think, like every time I talk about the compensation plan, I use this quote. And I like it because it illustrates the point here, which is that people like to make things complicated. The reason they like to complicate things, I got a typo there, to complicate things, is because if things are easy, it probably means they need to change. And you've had this conversation with people about nutrition. You tell people, it's real simple, stop eating sugar. Oh, no, I heard it's keto and I need to, have a whatever. And it's like, no, let me make this simple to you. Just stop eating sugar and see what happens. No, I have a condition and there's a thing. They just don't want to change, okay? I'm taking the complicated out of it, which means maybe it's time to just pay attention and change a little bit. We're going to start off, again, as always, the disclaimer, okay? What I'm going to talk about today, it is hypotheticals in large cases. I'm going to show you my second business center today, and how it's set up, because it's probably the most similar to a new coach getting started. It's an emerald. I kind of show you that. Please, the disclaimer, okay? I'm not guaranteeing any level of success, anything we talk about like that. We're doing hypotheticals here today. Whoops, I went the wrong direction. We're just talking about hypotheticals here, okay? So I'm going to show you how a genealogy gets built. I can tell you that's not how yours is going to look. I just flat out. If anybody's genealogy matches exactly what I'm showing you, it's pure coincidence, okay? Because this is just simply, it's different for every single person in every single circumstance. So I have to start with the disclaimer because my lawyer brain just does that. So first of all, welcome to the team. Okay, here you are. You've signed up. This is you. You're a coach, right? You haven't sponsored anybody yet. Okay, maybe you have sponsored. Maybe you have your spouse or your best friend or whatever. Somebody started with you, but we're going to kind of start from scratch and assume you're new. Okay, so welcome to the team. Now we want to build a team. You're a part of a team and you're building a team. So somebody said, yes, what's next? Again, technical stuff. Where do you want this coach on your team? Okay, that's the first thing we're going to get into is we're going to take a look at rank and we're going to take a look at placement and how to do that stuff. And actually, that's kind of the meat of the call today, okay? Then relationship building, and we'll talk about how you dig in and figure out somebody's goals and then training them. And training them is really simple. It's just putting them in a position to achieve their goals, okay? You're gonna have to take your idea of what success looks like out of this thing and simply find out what they want, put them in a position to get it. What happens when you do that is they tend to want more, okay? Not always, but that's usually how it works. So let's talk a little bit about the ranks. Again, like if you're brand new, you're here. It's just you. You don't have a team yet. You're not eligible for team cycle bonus. Nobody's joined you yet. Here's an emerald coach. This is the first step in our rank. And what that basically means is you have an active coach on both legs. And as you're going to see, if you're brand new, you have two legs, okay? A right and a left leg. You need people on both sides in order to really succeed in this business, okay? If you have everybody on one side, which is what you're going to see is going on in my second business center, and that's intentional. I'll explain that when I get there. But you're going to see there's a ton of people on one leg and one person on the other leg. That's not a profitable business center. You have to have people on both legs. What we're looking at here are your personally sponsored people. So this is Emerald. This is your first step. Ruby basically means now you've sponsored 4 people. 2 of them are Emerald coaches. Diamond means now you've sponsored 8 people. 2 of them are Emerald coaches. And that's how you get to the rank of Diamond. Okay. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on rank other than just to kind of show you this real quick. So again, Emerald rank, you have 2 legs. Okay. You need to put a personally sponsored coach on each leg, and then you're an Emerald coach. But when it comes to placement and answering this first question of where do I want this person on my team, your organization maybe doesn't look like this. So we need to know, what does the team actually look like? Sorry, these are a little blurry. I don't know why it came out that way, but this is kind of what you're going to see going on in my second business center. Is I've got one leg that's growing like crazy because there's a bunch of people placing on it, including me from a different business center. And then on the other side, I got one coach. Now, in order to make this business center profitable, your new people need to go over here, okay? Because you got plenty of people here. Let's just hypothetically, again, say this is what your organization looks like. You got plenty of people over here. You got one person over here. We need volume coming from both legs, okay? So again, just as a quick review of the compensation training that we did just last week, what the computers are looking for is 100 points from one leg and 200 points from another. And to put it into perspective, Shakeology is 90 points, okay? So every time there's 100 points on one leg and 200 points on the other, you're going to cycle. How much you get paid on the cycle depends on whether you're an Emerald, you get $14, Rubies get $16, and Diamonds get $18 per cycle. But what you want to do is maximize the amount of cycles first. So in this situation, it's pretty obvious where the coach needs to go. Your new coach needs to go here, okay? We're going to talk about how to make sure that happens, all right? So, but it's really about getting an accurate picture of what your team really looks like. I'm going to show you where to access that information today. Because maybe your team, looks like this. That's what you want it to look like. This is what a really thriving organization looks like. You've got a bunch of coaches on one leg and you've got multiple coaches, quite a few people, and a growing organization on the other leg. That's what's going to give you that balance of 100 and 200 and maximize the number of times you cycle. But again, if you only build the one leg, this never happens. Okay, this never happens. And the team cycle bonus part of the compensation plan really isn't available to you, which is a bummer. You can still make good money being a retailer, and that may be enough. You know, selling 3 challenge packs a month, making Success Club, that may be plenty to help you achieve your goals. Okay, I'm assuming that there's some income goals that go a little bit further than that, and team cycle bonus is certainly one of the more attractive aspects of our compensation plan. All right, so now you've got the person who said yes, and now you know where you want them to go. How do you get them there? Okay, there's a couple of different ways to set your placement. Okay, I'm going to show those to you in just a second. One thing I'm just going to preface, number 3, I should have maybe said this first, always just double check. And if you are not real comfortable and you don't really know and you're kind of new, ask somebody to double check it for you. It's easy. This is the one thing I can look at in other people's businesses very easily, is where they're placing people. Okay, I can see the whole organization and I can go right there and I can say, oh, that person is in the right spot, good job, or that person's in the wrong spot, we just need to submit a coach change form and get them moved. And you have 5 business days to do that. So important to understand, none of this is stuck in stone until after the 5 days. So you want to make sure you set it correctly and then just double check after your coach signs up. Now, so let me show you how to do that real quick. So again, we're going to jump into, let's make sure we're not logged out. And of course we are. I'm going to jump into my second business center. This is one of 5 business centers. At one time it was a diamond, now it's just an emerald. And that's really because we haven't been sponsoring people here. And the reason for that is we're building one of Monica's business centers underneath it right now. Okay, so we're going to monitor my business. Again, I told you there's 2 different places that you can set genealogy. The first is graphical genealogy. The second is in preferred placement. Either one of these works as long as you are confirming. Preferred placement is more precise, okay? And I will say, for those of you who are more experienced coaches on this call, I want you using preferred placement, not this graphical genealogy. When you're new, it's okay to use the graphical genealogy because it's very intuitive, it's very simple, and it's usually correct, and you don't have a lot of options on places to go, so it's okay. There are some reasons which I will explain why, as your organization gets larger, there are some perils to using graphical genealogy, but again, you can just double check it, all right? So let's jump into my second CBC. As I said, it is an emerald coach, and I'm gonna show you, I'm gonna zoom out here. Let's just keep kind of going down. Yeah, there's Michelle Beckman. I just talked to Michelle this morning. And I'm just gonna kind of expand this so you can get an idea. There are a lot of coaches, okay? And some of these people have been coaches for years. There are a lot more, okay? In fact, let's see if I can zoom out far enough. Probably can't. Sometimes it doesn't like it when I do that. You get the idea. It's going, this leg is going bananas. There's a lot of people out here. They're sponsoring other people. Like Michelle's here. If I were to expand this, you'd see she's got a whole organization. I don't want to dive too deep into other people's organizations here, so I'm not going to do that. But there's a whole lot of other people that Michelle has brought in that are over here. Okay. What's going on the other leg? Okay. That leg's looking really good. Okay. And I can tell you it has a mountain of carryover volume because of this situation. We talked about this last week. What happens when there's all this volume here and not very much over here? And the answer is it just gets carried over to the following week. Okay, there's a mountain of carryover volume. This is a business center opened in 2014. Again, no promises on this stuff. So what's going on over here? I got one active coach. One active coach over here. Okay, there's a canceled coach. There are a bunch of other coaches who have since canceled this. Again, this was a diamond at one point. There were a whole bunch more people. Now, the reason I wanted to show you this to you is because it's actually a good example of something that you're kind of looking for that would say, is that placement correct? The reason this person here is not really intentional. It's just that she was under somebody who quit and then rolled up to me. When somebody quits, their coaches that they've sponsored roll up to whoever sponsored them. So their coach quit, they rolled up to me. Turns out to be a very, very nice person who is purely a discount person, but is religious about drinking Shakeology. And super nice. She's just been on her fitness journey. She's been just drinking Shakeology steadily for years, which is fantastic. And I enjoy talking to her. So what are we looking at here? See how this one's blue? That's how you set preferred placement in the graphical genealogy. If I wanted to move it here, it'll ask me, are you sure? I'm gonna say no, but are you sure? And then this spot would light up blue. That's how you set your preferred placement in the graphical genealogy. Let me talk about what you want it to look like, okay? And I'm gonna go back. Oh, I deleted that slide, I think. Here's what you see though. Everybody who's I'm sponsoring and is getting sponsored by those people, they're falling onto this outside leg. This is what we call an outside leg. This is, let's go back to Michelle. This is Brian, her husband. So this is her inside leg. This is the outside leg, okay? I don't want to sponsor people over here. I wouldn't want to sponsor somebody here or here or here. I want to sponsor them out here or on the other outside leg, you know, if there was one. The reason this coach is in the wrong spot is, again, because they were placed there by somebody else and then I inherited them, okay? And so I'm going to keep that line going here when I sponsor. Not planning on sponsoring anybody in this business center anytime soon because we have bigger priorities, and we are sponsoring actually on this leg. This is where we sponsor, but we just don't do it with this business center. We typically use Monica's business center to sponsor there, right? And I'm getting a little technical here with these multiple business centers. Just want to explain to you why this placement is not super important to me right now. But if I saw this, I'd kind of go, that went the wrong way. Should have gone this way. You want people on the outside leg, not sponsoring on the inside leg. Okay, and that's really just so all these people fall into a nice little line. So hopefully that makes sense. If that doesn't make sense, please ask me a question on the Facebook chat there so that I can kind of address that. But that's what's going on. This is a very common scenario. That's one of the reasons I wanted to use this business center. If you've been around for a while and you've been an Emerald coach, chances are your organization looks a lot like this. It's a bunch of people on one leg because you're sponsoring them and other people are sponsoring them, okay? And then not a lot of people on the other leg because you're not sponsoring them. And so, you know, if I want this business center to grow, and this is your situation similar to this one, which I'm guessing it is, you gotta build this leg, okay? That's where it's gotta come from. So you can do that again by clicking that preferred placement. I think that's fine. However, let me explain to you for the people who've been around for a while why you don't want to do that. If this team's growing quickly, okay, and let's say Michelle sponsors somebody, and I've clicked this little blue button under her out here, and then she says, oh, wait a minute, I want to move that person to my other leg, and she submits the coach change form, which we'll talk about in just a second. My coach is going to move with that person if it's done through this little blue guy, okay? And I'm probably not going to catch that unless I'm just really diligent in checking on it. That's why that might be a problem. Again, when you're new, that's highly unlikely that that's going to happen to you. That's a highly unlikely thing to happen anyway, because you just have this narrow 5-day business. But that's if you wonder why, don't use the graphical genealogy. That's why you don't set it there. The other place you can set it is here in preferred placement. Okay, now, yeah, I was going to say, it wants to go to this automatic thing. I don't know why. We don't want automatic, okay? What automatic will do, and again, when you're brand new, automatic is okay, because here's what automatic does. Automatic says, we're going to take every coach you sign and alternate their placement on your legs. So when you're new, it's going to sign the first coach up on your weak leg, then it's going to go to your strong leg, and it's going to sign up the next coach there. Then it goes back to weak, back to strong, back to weak, back to strong. Doesn't always get it right, okay? The computer thinks it's right. Might not be where you want it. This is where you've got to get intentional about these things and go, no. I want it on that leg, yes, but not in that spot. I want it in this spot, okay? The way you can do that is by getting that coach. This is the coach where it's blue right now because it's set. It's not set to this. I know that. It's set to that. So I'm not sure why it reset everything when I came in here. It's probably because I set it with using graphical genealogy, so I'll just reset it. Okay, preferred placement settings have been saved. How could I check it? Well, I can go right back to graphical genealogy and look at it. And there it is. It moved from right to left, okay? So I don't want it there. Or I'm sorry, it moved from left to right. And I want it left. So now I go back to graphical genealogy. Let's just double check it. There it is. It's right where I want it. Okay, right where I want it. And it's confirmed. But I've set it like that, so I wouldn't have to worry about that situation happening. I'm not worried about that situation happening where, you know, this coach is going to move, because this coach, she's been there for years and years and years. It's way too late to move anybody. Hey, Michelle, I've been talking about you all morning. If you just joined us, Michelle, I was using kind of where your business is and the alignment to just kind of show people my genealogy. So let's say you go in here, you check, you've signed somebody up, you go check it, or you ask your sponsor or me or whoever to check it, and it's wrong. It's wrong. You have 5 days to submit this form, okay? Which, whoops. Sorry, I thought that we were already in the FAQ. It's in the FAQ. You have to be logged in to see it. It's right here. Coach form and docs. Placement change, sponsor change. If I click that, it's going to launch this form. Just fill out the form. Okay, fill out the form. Tell them what you want. They're going to send you an email. They're going to say, hey, we got an email from you. Are you sure you want to do this? We're going to do it. Then you go check. and you check it after they do the placement as well. Okay. What I have been told, I was just actually on a call about this with a group of 5 stars and Cindy. And what we've been told is the system doesn't make any errors. The system will do exactly what you tell it to do. The errors are made by actual people. Okay. So what happens is you didn't set your placement, you forgot, whatever, and somebody goes in, they're in the wrong spot. You catch it within 5 business days. Okay. After 5 business days, it's locked in stone. Don't do that. Double check. You catch it, you submit, yeah, so Nicholas, touching on another technical thing. You submit the coach change form. That's when there are some errors, okay? And sometimes it's not clear to the agent where that person should go. Or they maybe don't understand. They're not inside your head thinking, I want them here for that reason. Then they look at your genealogy and they go, oh yeah, I would put it right there, but that's not what you're thinking, okay? They put them in the wrong spot. You still have that time to move them, okay? It's just important that you double check these things and make sure that people go into the right spots, because it's totally fixable in the first 5 business days. Totally fixable, okay? Even if you sign up 3 or 4 people, as long as you're in 5 business days of all 4 of those people signing up, you can move all 4. It's fine. You've got 5 business days. After that, it's set in stone. Yes, Nicola. So Nicola is kind of pointing out, Nicola is, for those of you who don't know, Nicola's been around like since the beginning, pretty much. Like Nicola's been a coach for a really long time. And when we started this thing, we didn't really know what we were doing, and we didn't really know how to teach people. And there were different people teaching different things. And it sometimes can get a little sticky. And that's why I really wanted to do this call and show this to you guys, and at least put this on your radar screen. Okay. I'm not expecting you to understand placement 100% after this call. What I'm really trying to do is just highlight the importance of it, that it's important where you put people, that you need to think in advance. Where's my business strong? Where's it weak? I want to build away from strength and towards that weakness to try and get volume coming from both legs. And that it's important, and that if there's anything you take out of this call, that it is extremely important to always check the placement after a new coach is signed. Okay. If it's good, it's not going to move. Okay. So if you check and it's where it's supposed to be, good to go. If you're not sure, ask. Okay. Shoot me a message, talk to your sponsor, talk to whoever the team leader. We have lots of Star Diamond coaches around here who have a wealth of experience in this. If they're above you in the genealogy, okay, so if you're on Lee's team and you talk to Lee can see all this stuff. Okay, now if you're talking to somebody who's not above you, they're not going to be able to go on their end and check it. You'll have to send them a screenshot of something or something like that. So obviously it's better if you're working with somebody who's able to just access this information. Take a look at your genealogy and see what's going on. But it's super important. You know, one of the things as people approach 2-star, we have a long conversation about where to open a second business center. And this is what we do. We dive into the genealogy and we look at what's going on and where the volume's at and where to place it. And we make sure it gets placed in the right spot because it's super, super important. But it's also important when you're a new coach. And the main thing is just to highlight the importance of it and that you can totally fix it as long as we know about it. One of the sad things that sometimes happens is somebody will come to me and say, I signed up a new coach and I didn't tell you about it. And then they're in the wrong spot. The first question I'm going to ask is, how long ago was that? Because if it's more than 5 days, we're going to have to beg, and I mean beg, coach relations to change that. And sometimes they will. Sometimes they will. It really depends. The sooner the better on that. But it's the best thing, just check. And again, if you're not super comfortable with it, I'd so much rather somebody says to me, hey, I think this is right, but would you just check it real quick? I love that. Okay. I'm more than happy to just dive into the genealogy and go, okay, who are we talking about here? You know, give me the information, coach ID. I can look it up in a heartbeat and I'm happy to do it. I would much rather have that sense of we're double checking these things and they're getting done right than the sense of, oh my gosh, you're signing up coaches you don't really know, you're not really sure, and we rely on luck. I don't like relying on luck is basically what it comes down to. Okay. So that's my speech about preferred placement. So again, if there's questions about that, let me know. So far, I'm not seeing any. So if you put a question there, sometimes the comments don't come through. It's weird the way I look at it when I'm on these. All right, let's go back to our presentation. So that's preferred placements. Part 2, relationship building. The mission of our company is to help people achieve their goals and enjoy a healthy, fulfilling life. I think that needs to be where you always come from in doing this business, okay? There's multiple important parts about that statement, okay? Help people achieve their goals, not your goals, not my goals, their goals, okay? When I was new and I was building this business, I had big goals, okay? I was more concerned about people achieving my goals than I was about achieving their goals. Then I heard Zig Ziglar say, if you help enough people get what they want, you can have whatever you want. And my philosophy on this changed. And now, and for quite a long time, what I have done is simply try to figure out what people want, okay? Here's how I do that, okay? And I'm assuming, again, making an assumption, this is not always the case. The last coach I sponsored was not a customer, purely a business builder. And that happens. It's rare, but it happens, okay? Most people who sign up to be coaches are customers, okay? They get into your group. They fall in love with whatever it is you guys are doing. They love the way you support them and the way the group supports them. And that support usually looks like picking them up and dusting them off when they fall down, answering their questions. When they get a big win, finish a program, whatever, boom, we toast the champagne. Good for you. Shake the pom-poms. Yes. It's a great relationship to build with somebody. Here's the problem. You're starting a new one. And if you don't realize you're starting a new one and they don't realize you're starting a new one, that first relationship can be adversely impacted. Okay, so let me explain to you how I explain that to people who join us in this circumstance. I tell them, look, for the last however long, I've been your coach and you've been my client. And my job has been to do exactly what I just said. Dust you off, shake the pom-poms, answer the questions, you know, when things are tough, encourage you, all that stuff. That's what I do in that relationship. That's never going to change. Okay? We're starting a new relationship in addition to the old relationship. The old relationship doesn't change. I will always be here to support you in achieving your health and fitness goals, always. So if the second relationship and our new relationship doesn't work out the way maybe you think I want it to, that's okay, because we still have this relationship and it's not going to be affected by whatever happens in our new business relationship, because the business relationship is going to look a little bit different. Okay. I'm still going to shake the pom-poms for you when you win. I'm still going to pick you up and dust you off when you, fall down. However, if you're going to succeed in this business, you're going to have to put in a lot of work. Okay. This business requires a lot of work, a lot of dedication. Okay. I'm in the middle of trying to qualify for a loan, so my house is such a mess. Spent the morning doing that. Put that on hold to do this, because this is a priority for me. Okay. That's what's going on right now. There are people waiting for answers for me, but I'm here doing this because this is work, and that's what it's going to take. Okay. This is exactly the type of things I say to them. And here's how our relationship looks now. This new relationship. Again, the old relationship stays the same. You can stay in the challenge group. You can stay there. If you at some point want to start your own, that's cool. But the new relationship looks like this. If you walk, I walk. If you run, I'll run. I'd rather run. I want to run. But if all you want to do is walk, that's fine. But understand that when it comes to the business side of things, there needs to be some movement in order for me to engage. Okay? Again, we can always engage on your health and fitness. And if that's where you want to stay, cool. But we have this new relationship right now. And what that new relationship requires is that I understand your goals. Probably a lot like you did when they started as a customer. You know, I'm just messaging with a guy this morning as I'm dealing with all this other nonsense. And he's having some issues. He's kind of struggling. He's been struggling with his nutrition a little bit, and it's affecting his workouts, you know, and I'm helping him. That's never going to change. Okay. I'm always going to do that for him. And he's thinking about becoming a coach. If he does, we're going to start this new thing, and I'm going to make sure he knows I'm going to take care of this first relationship of ours. It's valuable to me, and I'm not going to let you down. Now I got to find out what your goals are over here. Okay. So what do you want to get out of this business? That's the question. And I was on the phone with Carrie Straumer, excuse me, need some water, the other day. And one of the questions I asked her, why are you here? What are your goals? What are you trying to do? Can't really help you and give you advice and tell you how to build this and teach you strategy until I know why you're here. Some people are here to make a bunch of money. Some people are here because they like to go to Summit and wear a fancy medal. Some people are here because they like the community. Not my job to make judgments about those things. Okay. My job is to position you to win. Okay. If you want to make money, that doesn't always go hand in hand with getting fancy medals. Sometimes it's smarter to build your husband's business. And that's not going to get you any of those things. It'll increase the dollars in the door though, if you do it right. Okay. Different things, different goals, different strategies. Some people just want to get a discount. Okay. And so let's talk about that really quickly, because that's a real common conversation. I just want to get a discount. Cool. Do you know how to use the shop button? If they don't, you teach them how to go to teambeachbody.com and click that shop button. Shop for whatever they want. Shop it up. Shop till you drop. Good deal. Here's the thing. Until you notify me that you want to take this to the next level, I'm going to assume that you're just happy being a discount customer, preferred member, whatever you want to call it. But you're allowed to change your mind. I just need you to let me know. I'm not a mind reader. And I don't want to teach you a bunch of irrelevant stuff right now and overwhelm you and have you get bored and then have you come back in a year and decide you want to really do this thing and think, I already learned all that stuff. I don't need to learn that. It's a real common mistake that people make. Okay, they come in, they sign up, they go through the training, and then something happens, for whatever reason, they don't do anything with their business for a year. And then when they get started again, I ask them, hey, have you done the training? Which we'll talk about next. And they say, yeah. And I say, cool. And then I wonder, how come it's not taken hold? And the reason is because they just did it when they first signed up, when they were really just a discount person. And they need to really redo that training. And sometimes that's hard. So I don't want people doing that. I don't want people wasting their time, learning how a compensation plan works, sitting on a call like this, if all they want to do is get a discount on their Shakeology, right? But I put it on them. In our new relationship, one of your jobs is to check in with me if your mind changes about any of this. If you decide you no longer want to do this, and I just need you to let me know. It's cool. We have the first relationship. It's always going to be solid. But I just need you to know what's going on in the new relationship. It requires a different level of communication. Because in our first relationship, I'm assuming that you want to get these results. You want to lose weight, get faster on your bike, whatever it is. I don't make any assumptions in this relationship. You tell me what you want, and I'll show you how to get it. Can't get it for you, but I can show you how to get it. And it just creates this new relationship. Okay, somebody in our 5-star group just asked the other day, do you ever struggle with mentoring people that you've sponsored, but you find it really easy to mentor people who are from other people on your team? Answer, of course you do. And this is why. This is why. It's because these other people, or people who come in, like the last coaches we signed, who are pure business builders. I don't need to talk about this first relationship. We just start a new one. Boom, business relationship. Here we go. It's the only relationship we got. So I don't need to take care of this other one. It's not complicated. It's easy. We start from the get. Here's the expectations, okay? I'm going to give you stuff to do. When it's done, you're going to come back to me. We'll talk about it. We'll go through it. Then I'll give you something else to do. Then you'll come back. We'll talk about it. As you're sponsoring new coaches, I'm expecting you to tell me that you're sponsoring new coaches and talk to me about the people that you're prospecting so that I can help you do that. Maybe even help you jump on a phone call with them and explain some things to them. Get them over the hump. Get them signed up. I'm not going to know if you sign a coach, though. I'm not going to check the placement. There's just too many people. I couldn't do it. Even if I spent all day, I couldn't do it. But if you tell me, hey, I signed a new coach, I can say, cool, let me check that placement. If it's wrong, I can help you just fill out the change form. But if I don't know, I can't help you. You got to communicate that. Okay, you've got to communicate that. So for the people who are more than just a discount coach, like once you've talked to somebody and they're like, you know what? I'm struggling right now, and $1,000 a month would change my life. Where do we go from there? Okay, that's the next step in our little, I'm not even sure I need to bounce back to this presentation, but I want to make sure I'm not missing anything. We'll see. Okay, I'm all over the place today. Where did I know where I went. I went there. Yeah, so part 3, it's just new coach training. Okay, fcncoachtraining.com/new coach welcome. That's where the new coach welcome is. I'll show you that real quick. Just here. There's a video of me. Hi, my name is Dave Ward, and I want to be among the first people, hopefully not the first, hopefully that was your sponsor, but among the first people to welcome you to Team Beachbody and being a Team Beachbody coach. It's me. Hi. Then I'm going to ask them to send me a message to m.me, which is my Facebook page. That triggers a back and forth between me and your new coach. Okay, when they send the words "new coach," it starts walking them through the training process. Now, if you're going to do that, they don't really need to do this. I'm still happy to talk to them. Okay, but they don't need to do this. But if you're not comfortable teaching people how to do this and walking them through this training or something similar, then let me do it. Okay, let me do it. I'm good at it, and I really enjoy getting to know people on our team. Okay, this page has a bunch of trainings. These are from corporate. Okay, this is all stuff from corporate. This is all stuff they can find in the Coach Online office. If you have your own team page and you have your own training set up, I suggest you use some of this stuff. It's very professionally produced. It's super, super simple. It's been beta tested with a lot of different people, and it's pretty darn good. Make your life easy and use corporate stuff. I just put it all here on our website, so it's all in one spot. They don't have to go hunt around. You know, where would they find it? I don't know, maybe under training, maybe under getting started. This is the exact videos that I have on this page. That's all it is. They're just all consolidated into one little spot that isn't going to log them out every time they walk away from it for a few minutes. By the way, they seem to have improved that logging out thing. So that's how you get people started. Okay, from there, the next level training is going to be the first 30 lessons. Okay, these are 20 lessons designed to be done over 30 days. This is comprehensive training. Okay, introduction. Let's tell you me, the story of Beachbody. Talk about the 4 vital behaviors. Talk about your why. Let's dig in with that. I teach you how to tell your story. We create 30, 60, and 90-day action plan. Okay. Teach you a little bit about social media. I don't go super in depth there because social media changes too quickly. I can't keep up with it. Teach you how to make a list and use it. Teach you personal development. Teach you about challenge groups, and 2 parts on inviting. Okay. One is about inviting people to be a customer. The second is about inviting people to be a coach. We check in with your goals again. We check in. I'll give you a daily activities. Okay. A little sheet of paper that says, do these things. And I'll show you in just a second where you can get that. I'll teach you the compensation plan. I'll teach you how to share the business opportunity. I'll teach you Success Club. I'll teach you a little bit about branding. Okay. So you want to start a business and maybe you're kind of a niche-y thing. Like my branding is Dave That Outdoor Guy. That's my Instagram handle. Why? Because I ride that thing this time of year, or my surfboard. My wife got back from surfing. She was having a nice time today as I've been working. And I ski in the winter. I'm a backpacker. I just got back from a sailboat trip. I am an outdoor person. That's my whole thing. That's why my personal fitness is so important to me, is because I want to be able to do that outside. Pretty simple, but I branded that. It took time to figure that out. I can help you with that. Figure out recognition, and then finally we do a wrap up. They're beyond that. If you want to keep going, this is the playbook. The playbook is these 10 rules. Be here from now. Plug into the support system, personal development, push play, drink Shakeology, share your story, make a list and use it, expand your network. It's a lot of the things that we do in the first 30. Okay. But it's a little bit deeper dive. A little bit deeper dive for people who really want to dig in with the training. Okay. My philosophy with the training is that I'm the type of person who likes a lot of information. Okay. So I give people, that type of person, there's plenty here for you. Okay. If you're that type of person, you don't need to do all this training. Okay. Most of this stuff I learned by doing it, not by watching somebody else do it, not by sitting in a hotel room and listening to somebody tell me how to do it. That got me started. But then I had to go do the thing. And once I started to do the thing, I started to go, okay, that does not work. I'm not going to do that again. Hey, that worked. Let's do that again. That's how I learned to ask the question, have you ever thought about becoming a Team Beachbody coach? Instead of saying, you should be a coach, which is what I used to do. It didn't work. People go, should I? Oh, crap. Or they say, make a judgment right away. No, I don't think I should. But if I ask you, have you ever thought about it? When I started asking it that way, people go, well, yeah, I've thought about it. Oh, cool. Let's have a conversation about it. Different thing. Subtle thing. That's just what works. Okay. Now, a couple other things to show you here. Resources. This is where this call is going to live, is on this page. It'll be someplace probably under general business. Probably under team building, actually. Probably under team building. But as you can see, we got a lot of different stuff down here. If you're not comfortable with what questions to ask a prospect, here's a cheat sheet. Go grab it. Okay, here's all the compensation training we do. Okay, I mentioned here's the how to make $1,000 a month thing. All kinds of different trainings that are here. There's no shortage of trainings. These are the weekly business plan. I mentioned a piece of paper. I'm going to show you that. Just a piece of paper. This is one is for new coaches. Birthdays, add 4 to 8 new people. You just check these off every day. And then, hey, look, it's Tuesday today. So Transformation Tuesday, Taco Tuesday, Tell Me Tuesday. Come up with your own. Cool. Here's some ideas. Just some ideas. So if you're like I am today, which is really tight for time and kind of stressed out, but I know I want to do this, I can just go to this thing and go, oh, yeah, Shakeology Saturday, Soulful Sunday, whatever, and come up with something to say. Okay, these are the types of things that are all created. And again, FCN Coach Training, the training is here. Okay, resources are here. All right, that's how you get new people started if you're not comfortable teaching them. Now, where else might there be resources? One of the things that we are insanely fortunate to have had happen over the years is that we have a lot of people who are leaders. We have a lot of people who have team pages who are independent of this one. Some of you are in both of them. Some of you guys show up for both of our calls, which is cool. If you need more information, get the information. you know, sit on it, go do something with it. But that's cool. But, and you may have access to one of those other resources. You know, I mean, I know, like, if you are on Cindy's team, most of those people don't speak English, or if they do, it's not their first language. French is their first language. So who's teaching them how to do this? Cindy. Cindy's teaching them. We're one of Cindy's leaders. She's got leaders too. Just to pattern her business after our business, which is grow independent leaders. And then they do stuff like start their own pages and start their own training calls and start onboarding people and do all that stuff. If there's somebody like that that you can lean on, fantastic. If there isn't, I just gave you the plan. Okay. And I told you repeatedly throughout the plan, contact me. Okay. Because I'm happy to help. All right. I'm happy to help. I don't think I left anything out. No, I didn't. That's team call for today. That's how you get new people going, you know. So a couple things to focus on. Placement, please. The earlier we know about it, the easier it is to either just check and say, all good, or say, that's not where you want that person. Let's move them. But if I don't know, I can't help, and I want to help. So please, that's probably the biggest takeaway from today. Second one, that relationship is so important in focusing on helping people achieve their goals, taking their goals, not, you know, just as you find them. I don't try and tell people, really? Like, your goal is only to make $200 a month? Like, seriously? That's it? You just want to earn 1,000? Like, and then once you're earning 1,000, you want to earn like 5,000? What's the matter with you? Don't do that. I go, cool, $200 a month. Here's the plan. I'll show you how to do that. Just, you know, sell whatever it is, 3 or 4 challenge packs. Good to go. Make a couple other sales. Boom, you're over 200. Congrats. Awesome job. Way to go. Do it next month. Not my job to make judgments about that stuff. My job is to help people get what they want. And it's really important to talk about that relationship thing. If they're people that you're personally sponsoring and you've built that first relationship with them, make sure you preserve that. It's so important. So important to what we do. Because a lot of times the second one never really grows, and they start to make judgments about the first relationship, and they start to withdraw from you. And you go, what's going on with her? Like, everything was cool, and then she became a coach and didn't really dig in with the coach thing, which is fine. But now they're withdrawing from my challenge group. What? But if you preserve that relationship, they'll stay there because now you've communicated with them, okay? Which is super, super important here. And then finally, just the training. It's all out there for you. You know, there's plenty of stuff. There's plenty of people to help. So I think that's it. I'm not really seeing any other questions here. If there are questions, sometimes I can't always see them. I will respond. So with that, talk to you guys next week.